Just swing by. Don't be like. Next time video. All right. You're here now. I mean, it's.
Nobody.
That's your microphone.
And doesn't know their thing. Yeah.
I'd like to call the May meeting of the Hancock Town Council to order. Debbie, can you please call the roll?
Sure.
Councilmember Figgy,
Present.
Councilmember Grove. Councilmember Holdren,
Present.
Councilmember Knopf,
Here.
Councilmember Pettit,
Present.
Councilmember Quigley,
Here.
Mayor Coffey.
Present.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Okay, can I remind people to put your phone on quiet there? Something I forgot to do for me myself, but also sign up if you'd like to speak at the in public session. I'd like to get two housekeeping things out of the way now. We need to schedule a special meeting because we didn't advertise for the budget. So I'm looking at 2 weeks from today. Is there a conflict with that one?
I probably won't be back from out.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
2 weeks today would be the
June.
regular June planning commission as
June.
well.
No, I thought they met on two. Oh, okay. We can't do that. We can't do two. What about the Wednesday? What's the Wednesday date after that?
June 3rd, which we're trying to do
Oh,
that.
we can't do that either. Okay. Huh?
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, that's gonna, my second thing. All right, we need to schedule this.
Yeah, because how many weeks? Does it have to be 14 days?
Has to be,
Just 7 between public hearing and
Yeah.
the adoption.
but it
Okay.
doesn't have to go in there twice.
It does have to go in the paper twice, doesn't it?
Don't think so. I'm pretty sure it does not.
Okay, I know Matt had been doing that, so
We can do it twice.
Well,
Nothing to stop that.
okay.
well, we're gonna be into we're not gonna make it before, all right, we need to figure this out. I bother people, but
The second.
of June, we can't get the second, OBCA meets on the second. What about the 8th? That gives us plenty of time to advertise it and stuff. Is that okay? Everybody okay with the 8th?
Yep.
Okay, 6 o'clock, okay. All right, this is the public hearing for the budget. It's also, we were going to talk about the crosswalk situation as well, continue conversation about that. So those 2 items will be on the budget. Okay, all right, that's good. The second scheduling thing is, Lisa, you want to think for,
Oh, sure. Fletcher and I have been talking about doing a Meet the Manager event. Car Place has graciously is allowing us to use their lawn. And so we were trying to find a good date, and Fletcher really would like to see it before Sale 250. So we've landed on a date of June 3rd from 5:30 to 7. Light hors d'oeuvres, and when the food's out, and a cash bar, which will be provided by Car Place.
yeah, okay, so put that on the calendar as well. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah, is that okay with council?
Yeah, because Joni would want to make sure council was.
We don't
okay
really,
before she-
unfortunately, we don't have a lot of choice on this one. There's a lot of scheduling conflicts with Car Place, and Wes is going to be gone for a day or two. Is everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, great. I'm looking forward to that. Thank you, Lisa, for setting that up. All right. Okay, do I have a motion to consider but the minutes of the budget workshop on April 15th, 2026?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
any discussion? All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
I need a motion to accept the meeting for when town manager interviews on April 16th.
So moved.
Second, there are no real minutes on that. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to accept the budget workshop minutes of April 23rd.
So moved.
Second?
Aye.
Okay, all approve, yeah, okay. And the regular meeting on April 27th.
So moved, but I do have discussion on that.
Second,
Second.
discussion?
Debbie, were you able to check into that motion today? Okay, so what is, so, I don't even know what page it's on.
Yes. It's gonna be next. Should have done it before that.
Councilmember Figgy moves to appoint Wesley Luke as the town manager, subject to the contract and the negotiations that are undergoing. Councilmember Knox seconded the motion passed with a 6-0.
Perfect.
Okay, and I'm remiss in not introducing Wes here sitting. Wes Wooten is our first day on the job. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. So he'll be taking over, Bill, you'll be, Wednesday's your last day, right? Okay, we'll talk about that at the end. All right. All right.
We have not adopted that motion.
Oh, yeah, all in favor of that motion
Aye, with amendments, right?
with amendment? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, opposed? Okay, the minutes all carried. No public hearing. There will be a public hearing at the date we just scheduled for the budget, so please, no public presentations. Council discussion, you have the 2027 budget. We need to advertise that. We need to make sure that's okay. Does anybody have any questions about
Yes.
Okay, we'll start. Cindy?
I'll get it. It's a sec. I was trying to
Are you-
find my page. Hang on just a sec. I was hopeful that you could highlight the changes from the April version that we received. It looks like to me, and this one wasn't dated. I know I got it in April, but it looks like the revenue projection went up 117,800,000. And there were other changes in here reflecting those to balance, and I was curious about the reasons.
We put the revenue from the HRSD, you asked, could that be put that in? That is in the budget now. On page 6, we put the car, the police vehicle, the new vehicle,
Wait a minute, that's, what page is it in our packet?
page 6.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Our packet pages are different.
16.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, that was an increase of 73,800.
That's the first responder, the vehicle.
Okay,
Um,
So that 93,800 is actually the total for the new first responder vehicle plus the loan? Okay.
All the CIP stuff was plugged into the budget.
yeah,
Okay.
then capital expenditures, it's on page 18 of my packet, went up 40,000 from the April version.
15 of your, on the police department.
Yeah, it's, wait a minute, which Department of Public Works, page 18, capital expenditures, sorry.
yeah.
Well, the overall expenditures went up by 40,000 because we plugged 50,000 for the CIP for the Queen Street. But we already had 10 in capital expenditures. 50.
So you added Queen Street, those engineering things, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, hang on, see if I have any more questions. Oh, on page 20, in the April version, there was a line that said fuel, $25,000 below the last line that says net. And it's missing here. I don't recall what it was, but it's just different.
Under revenue or?
Under
What page are you on?
expenditures, page 20.
Marina expenditures, is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
Cost of gas and diesel sales, I have 75,000. That's the line you're referring to.
None of the other lines changed.
It's down, you see the cost of diesel.
Yeah, I do, but that line didn't change from April.
What was the goal?
I put myself which page it
It
was.
did change for people.
So what, was it supposed to change?
I don't, it's just, there's a line missing and I don't understand why. This line is missing. It was underneath net and it said fuel, $25,000.
That's gonna be something.
You're talking about yeah, that was a footnote that I don't believe should have ever really been there.
Say, that's
That's-
extraneous.
See what you-
Yeah, thank you.
Wasn't for it.
Oh, I couldn't figure out what you were talking about. Okay. No, that makes sense, yeah. Yes.
Okay. Well, I'm going, where am I, water? Capital, the water capital expenditures on page 21 increased by $20,000.
Is that for
That's
the
the
study?
CIP slide.
Yeah,
That's for the
Study.
study.
that's.
Okay, thank you. And I guess they're all, wait a minute, sewer really confused me.
Well, it confused me. Because it changed in midstream. When we went to the meeting on the 29th, we were told that they were gonna start charging immediately. They were gonna take over the billing, which we'd lose the revenue. We came back, adjusted, and then we got a call that said, no, that wasn't correct, that they're going to start taking over the billing once everything under the omnibus agreement was turned over to HRSD. So we had to go back and fix that. The 50,000 is what we think, and to be honest with you, it's the best shot we can take will be the repair and maintenance for the sewer. We are going to be charged for the by HRSD for the maintenance and repair to the pump station.
So where is the money that we're paying HRSD?
Yeah, I don't see that
for
either. Treatment.
Wholesale flow
It's
right now.
there. It was missed. It's there now.
It's, where is that?
Well, in April, that line, instead of 50,000, said 185,000.
So the 185,000 was omitted accidentally. That's under collection, repair, maintenance plan. That's the wholesale rate that we pay, is 185,000. The 50,000 for repair and maintenance is the new expenditure that they're gonna start charging us for service call and any repairs at HRSD.
So the transfer,
Maintaining the pump stations.
okay, so the transfer to reserve of this, of 636 is gonna be minus 185. Okay, okay, thank you. All right.
This is really confusing because in April, we had like more, $123,000 more. I gotta tell you, I really don't understand the sewer stuff. The numbers are very confusing.
They change after every meeting.
Well, there's really not a lot, there's not too many numbers on the sewer thing. I mean, it's, you know, I mean, there's,
No, so you're saying under,
So on the sewer, we accidentally, the 185,000 for what we pay for treatment was omitted in this last sheet.
okay,
We upped electrical services by $14,000. We added $50,000 for repair and maintenance. We still have the HRSD transition cost for surgery.
yes,
So
Okay.
Fletcher nailed it in that the change is that the transfer to revenues will go down by 185.
okay.
Okay, so where's 185 in this document?
It's not.
It's not. Where will it?
it's gonna be under the
Repair, maintenance,
collection, repair and maintenance.
collection, it's collection,
Okay.
collection fees. It's a little
Okay.
confusing what COLL means, yeah.
Collection.
I know, yeah.
Okay, Okay, let me keep going, make sure I didn't have any other questions. I don't really think so, but I do want to just point out that crosswalks are not in the capital improvement plan in this budget.
Remember,
Correct.
so far, you have not told us that they need to be there.
Correct. Thank you. That's it.
Anybody else in the budget? Okay, you're gonna publicize that twice, and we're gonna be back in 2.5 weeks. All right. Thank you. 3 weeks, yeah. Thank you so much, guys, for putting that all together. All right. Okay, well, speaking of walks, Bill or Wes, who's gonna talk? Bill?
Yes, sir. The Virginia Department of Transportation is requesting the town to commit to the participation in the town crosswalk pedestrian safety project. For 8 pedestrian crosswalks in town. The project is through the Transportation Alternative Grant, known as the TA grants. The TA project will be administered by VDOT and by the grant funds with a required 20% match from the town. The match request for the town is $412,000. The project is estimated to be $2 million, round off to $2 million. For the crosswalk project to move forward, VDOT is asking that the town council approve the resolution that's attached. That they will do the 20% match. And that match is not asked for the $112,000 at one time. The project will go until 2032. We expect in August, and these can change depending upon how the project will move forward if you approve it. In August of 26, they'll be requesting $117,547. In December of 2028, $73,717. And in January the 10th of 2032, it would be $220,881. That gives you a total of $412,145. You can narrow the project, but VDOT will look to see whether they think they ought to continue or not. That I'll try to answer any question. Now, this project has been going on since 2023. And they are now asking that you commit doing the project.
Can I provide a clarification just so everybody understands? This is not something that VDOT is coming and saying, hey, Onancock, do you want to do this?
No, we were.
So this came up of 2023, I think, in October. Council was made aware of the fact that there was a grant available that would do some planning. That's the Ready, Set, Go grant that would provide funds to do planning for the Transportation Alternatives
Yeah.
grant. So there was some preliminary work done with a previous grant that did the engineering work. And at that time, I mean, way back then, they said 80-20, even though I don't know that the price tag was known at that time. And then, so we got that grant, they did the initial planning work. Last fall, this body was asked to approve going forward and submitting the Transportation Alternatives application. We approved it. There was a resolution. There's language in there that says contingent on available funds. So the application was made for the actual crosswalks. So now we are reacting to the need to assert that we will provide the funds for the work that has been percolating for several years to actually proceed with the work.
It was mapped against other.
You use the mic.
I'm sorry. The grant was a competitive grant. And it's competed against other grant requests. And it received the highest number for our bracket. So it was a competitive and So there were other folks that were also seeking.
So Bill, you mentioned that there might be an opportunity to reduce the number of crosswalks.
Yes, but I don't think it's as simple as you saying, I want to go to 3 crosswalks. It'll go back and be reviewed by VDOT as to whether or not to do that, what that scale would mean, scaling it down, and whether they would do the projects at all.
Was there a way to see like the breakout of which fiscal year, how much money would need to be funded to support this?
Yeah,
application?
yeah,
I thought he just told us that.
For fiscal year?
in 26, 117,547.
Oh, was that's right. It wasn't that email to you, wasn't it?
I didn't know it at that time. I emailed them to try to get
So that
what
was,
that breakdown would be.
It was in your packet.
it's the email that had the PE at 117 and then the RW at 17.
Could you,
That's right.
Okay,
could you go over that again? 26, 127. What's the next one?
Okay, this is 117,547, August of this year. December of 28,
page 23. That's where I am.
28 December.
yeah.
Okay, okay.
December 28,
Oh, that-
53,717. And then January the 10th of 32, 220,881, gives you a total of 412,145.
Well,
Okay.
32 is not even in our, outside the CIP plan.
That's, yeah, but you would be.
Committing it.
To that.
Okay, so
Right. Okay.
And 10 to 1, those prices would increase over that period of time.
Oh,
My understanding, and I may be wrong, Kevin, by the conversations I've had with the Mr. Porter, no Ken, in Suffolk, is that this is it. This is the number, because I asked about whether it would change or not, because I'm used to that having happened. But he said that this is it.
I think in the grant documents, it says it can increase. I thought I read it in there somewhere in the application, but I could be wrong.
And based on my reading of some of the history, I think the original, at one time, the number was 10. And it got reduced from 10 to 8, but
Yeah, there were there were a couple farther
We-
down Market Street, yeah.
We did try, I think we originally wanted to put in a sidewalk to connect the
Mhm.
sidewalk on King Street, and then we reduced it to the crosswalks.
right,
Yeah.
right.
All right.
But of course, this is the first time we've gotten a price for that reduction.
So we don't have to take any action at this meeting, but my feeling is I'd like to get some public input at some point, but either now or at the next meeting. So anybody else going to come in? Ann?
I would agree. I think public input is very important. I mean, no doubt our share is an investment, but it's not going to get less expensive. And I think there are many values to consider in what we would get for it.
I still think we should reduce the number. I think it's too many crosswalks. Some of them are just incredibly concentrated, and I just don't see the need for it. Particularly in the Market and North Street area. I don't see the need for the one connecting Carr to cross North Street. I just don't think we have that much foot traffic there. I'm not sure how we came up with this 8, but it's an awful lot given the small spaces.
These were submitted by the town.
I understand. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I knew. Thank you. But I don't understand the rationale.
Was
Yeah.
it 8 from the Hill Studio?
Yeah, originally it was 10.
They had more.
They did.
They
and
did.
They had some down on Lower Market Street and yeah, we took some out. Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Sarah?
Cindy, I'm with you. I don't remember the one crossing north at Carr in what we had discussed. And it also strikes me that although there is a way to cross north to get from the Red Queen to Wise's, and sorry, I'm using old names, and also to get from DMV to here, all the other crosswalks are, well, and then there's the one at this corner, but all the others are crossing Market Street. There's not a crosswalk across Ames at Market. There's not one at College. There's not one at Hill. which I think are the most,
I think there is.
There's one at Hill.
there's one at Crossing Market, but there's not one Crossing Hill
Oh,
at Market.
right.
There's not one Crossing College at Market or Ames at Market. So that puzzled me a little bit. And in looking through the documents, it talked about doing curb cuts and a bunch of other prep. I thought all of our corners had been curb cutted to the highest degree possible. I was surprised to see that that was going to be part of the work.
Yeah, it is to meet the ADA standards.
But doesn't so
I don't think ours, I haven't been out there and
Okay.
measured, but just looking
that may
at
be
them,
it.
I don't think they're that wide.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
the,
much wider than the earlier one.
Okay.
that were approved.
well, I mean, I understand your thing, but if you do the math, we're looking at, $350,000 a crosswalk. So you're
Not-
about adding 2-3 more. Yeah, I know.
I was just puzzled
Yeah.
at the absence.
Yeah. Well,
of
I
those
guess
and
they figure you
in
go
the
across,
face of the presence of the one.
I guess I figured that you go across the street to the other side to go across, if you,
I don't
yeah.
think it's smart, but VDOT did not do these by themselves. I guess Hill Studio, and I would think town council approved where these are. And I mean, I'm very unlikely that VDOT would do these on their own.
Just one other comment. I did check with Parksley. They do not have crosswalks. I tried to check with Exmoor. They didn't answer their phone, but I talked with my daughter who works in Exmoor, and she said that they have 2 crossings that are simply white paint. They're not the striped paint. So if it was done by VDOT, it was done a very long time ago. So I would guess that on the shore, probably only Chincoteague and Cape Charles have crosswalks so far. Just FYI.
And I do not know, there may be some institutional memory among you all about why it was applied for in the first place. I mean, I honestly, there's nothing that I see that tells us, what you all as a body, the town council at the time was thinking about when they have.
What- I think I can at least give a partial answer to that. As one of you are on that side of things mentioned, there had been a discussion of connecting the sidewalk on King Street to the sidewalk on Market Street with crosswalks there down at the end. And the price tag that came in for that was out of all reason. And when that was the response, we said, well, instead of doing that, can we improve pedestrian safety by putting other crosswalks elsewhere in town, and shifted to this? But I recall some discussion about where they would be. I don't recall this exact list.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw a map, and my recollection is the same, Sarah, that what we really wanted was a sidewalk, but we couldn't afford it.
But we've been talking about crosswalks way before that. I mean, we've been trying to get a crosswalk in front of, Wise's drugstore for 20 years. We talked to them 20 years ago and they said, no, we don't do that. It's not, we just don't paint it because they're not that safe unless you put up lights, and then, I mean, this was like 15 years ago. VDOT said, no, we're not going to do that for you. So we kind of kicked it down the road. But this is not a new conversation because at least in the center of town, there's been talk about crosswalks for years. And we just never implemented it. But VDOT wouldn't do it when we first requested.
And it's in the current comp plan. Excuse me, sorry.
Yeah.
A
But,
few places.
yeah, but this is a long time ago. We've asked VDOT. We wanted them, like a long time ago, and they said no. I don't know what the story. So we can think about this, if you have any questions, I'd certainly talk to Bill about the financing is that, I guess the immediate thing is where we're gonna come up with the money that we owe them in this budget cycle.
Well, you would have to look at what projects you have and put them off. For example, Queen Street,
Mm.
you may have to put off another year or two.
Right.
It's really a setting of priority.
Yeah,
Well, can I suggest too that we've been talking for years about parking? And a few years back, parking was the most urgent problem that the townspeople felt we had. So we went through a lengthy process to gather input, come up with some engineering plans. We've gotten partway there. And my opinion personally is that we should finish that project before we undertake new ones.
you're talking about, what, you're talking about Queen Street? Yeah.
Queen Street parking lot, that we
Right.
approve that.
Yeah. All right, well, so this is, there's a lot of information here to think about. Like to see what we got two shots for the public to weigh in on this, what they think about it. It's expensive. There's other things we can, like you said, it's priorities. All right, any other discussion on this? We're gonna bring it back up in 3 weeks, all right? Ashley, anything? Anybody? Okay. All right, omnibus agreement, HRSD, Bill?
Yes, sir. In February of 22, town council agreed to convey the Hampton Road Sanitation District the ownership of the town's wastewater collection and conveyance system. That hasn't been completed yet. This treatment plant has been conveyed to HRSD. The town pumping and collection system needs to be in the first action of the request, and there's been a number of agreements over the years on turning over the system to HRSD. And so one of the first actions based on our meetings with HRSD is the request by them for the adoption of this omnibus agreement that's in your package between the town and HRSD. The agreement consolidates and restates all the early agreements with the town and HRSD. It replaces the agreements of 2020 and 2022. And it describes the composition of the town's original water system, and it addresses the access and maintenance of the town's sewer system, HRSD, the conveyance of the town's sewage treatment plant lines and pump stations to HRSD, and the town's billing for HRSD services, and the town's responsibility for the new water meters that were installed and purchased by HRSD, as well as it states the town's allocated capacity of 215,100 gallons per day. There have been several iterations of this agreement. The one you have tonight is the latest one approved by both, that have been reviewed and approved for form and content by both the attorney for HRSD and the town's attorney. One of the things that I take is this is a process that's going to take a year to a year and a half. And it's going to be a very detailed process. You're going to need to hold public hearings because of the requested rezoning for the pump stations to IU, the industrial utility district. You will need to get ownership of each of the pump stations and then take those pump stations, hold public hearings to transfer them to HRSD. This is not a small undertaking. This book right here is kind of the direction for how to do that and when, and to be able to do it within that year to 18 months is going to require it being the top, high priority for both the mayor and the town manager, because you're going to be meeting people. You're going to have to institute a zoning case. You're going to have to receive the properties and then turn the properties over to HRSD. I think it's wise on your part to have turned the treatment plant over to HRSD. And I think it's even wiser now to turn the system over to HRSD. They've already made some improvements to pump stations. This past weekend, from Friday to Sunday, you had a blockage that it took your staff and HRSD that entire time to undo the blockage, to wind up following it through the system to the treatment plant. So it is imperative, at least in my mind, for the town to turn over the system and the pumping stations to HRSD. I don't think there's any town on the shore that really has the financial capacity to operate a sewage system as complex as this one is, and some of the other ones on the shore. With that, I'll answer any questions and recommend that you adopt the omnibus agreement.
Okay, Ashley, any questions?
No, I'm quite comfortable with. No, I don't have any questions. I'm quite comfortable with Bill's recommendation.
Sarah?
I have two questions. I'm looking at page 59. Item 9, billing.
I had that one too.
I am not seeing clearly a final decision on who will send the bills after the completion of the process. It sort of implies that it will be HRSD, but I'm not seeing it say that outright.
It will be
And in recent conversation, it had been my understanding that it would be us, but my question is, does that ambiguity need to be beaten out of the document before we go with it?
The town's attorney thought it was fine in his review because he was there when we talked about ensuring that the billing stayed with the town. And part of what the final agreement will be is to tell when we turn those monies over to HRSD.
Okay, and then, so I'll let others follow up if there's further questions on that. My other question was, does this document give HRSD veto over the town's ability to grant water usage outside the town?
No,
Okay,
it's a quick answer, it's the right answer.
I heard it quick.
The billing services agreement is a separate document, correct?
That's correct.
And that it,
Okay.
It spells out when we turn money over.
yeah,
and
yeah.
collect.
So this is billing to the town as opposed to billing to the town's residents?
That's, no, we will.
No, this paragraph 9.
Oh,
HRSD will continue to bill the town
yeah,
and the town will continue to bill the customers.
Right, yeah, and then, yeah, but it's my understanding that there's some flexibility that if 2 or 3 years from now, we decide that they would possibly take on all, to do the billing. We're not eliminating that possibility. That's
No, we
correct.
can do that,
Late
but it-
years from now, yeah, if we change our mind.
sometimes.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Some things in the meantime that would delay us turning it over if council decided they wanted to do that.
Right, yeah.
Thank you.
Sarah, I tend to agree with you because it says the town sewer customers, this is after everything's turned over, will become HRSD customers and billed in accordance with the then current HRSD rate schedule and applicable policies. So if
Yes,
they
that's-
change their billing policies
No, then it says, and an HRSD billing services agreement
Yeah.
that we haven't,
See,
that
the,
we haven't seen yet.
we haven't finished,
this
we
is
haven't.
So it's-
we haven't-
it's-
That's a separate document. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
that
been,
will come before you.
yeah,
So is that just specifying what the rates will be regardless of who sends the bill?
Yes, that we will charge HRSD rates In fact, that will be in part of the advertisement that goes out for the budget is the HRSD sewer rate.
Well, we don't have any control over their rates. That's good.
No,
That's straight.
no, we
Okay.
do not.
But we have but the rate schedule is their rate schedule, but the
That's
HRSD billing services agreement is how we bill it, how we worked it out with billing with them. So that's a separate agreement that's still coming. Could cut it.
To bill at their rate while we still on the collection system, are we?
I hope not, because we haven't been.
Because, but I know we have been,
We have,
but we're not necessarily required until we flip over the collection system, correct?
no, we are, they were clear to us that we are to charge their rate.
Oh.
Even though that's our money coming in and we pay them something different?
Yes,
Okay.
and that can change. That's one of the things that's concerning about turning this over. And the timing,
Well, why would that change? I'm confused about that. Because we're charging an HRSD rates now. That's not going to change. They're- Right.
well,
And we're adopting a budget for the whole year.
26 is what will be in, excuse me, FY 27
Right,
is what will be in the advertisement. We
right.
put that
And we're
in.
not changing that. Right.
No,
Okay.
It's just exactly there.
And hopefully a year from now, we'll be closer to getting this through. Yeah.
And that difference is for us to be able to maintain the pump stations and all that until we turn it over.
Okay.
So Bill, you're saying we will have sufficient money to maintain the lines until we turn them over?
Yes, the electricity, the maintenance, because we will be billed by HRSD for time and materials during the time until we turn those pump stations over,
Well, because we still own the system.
because we still own.
That's fair. Yeah.
So we're still paying them the wholesale rate for
Yeah.
what they're
Yes,
processing.
right, yeah. But we also have a cushion if we still putting $500,000 into so if there's an emergency, we could use some of that and it would be less.
Yes,
We're gonna-
you'd have to, basically you'd have to use that.
Right, okay, all right.
Do you have anything else? Okay. I have a couple of questions. Absolutely.
I'm concerned that there was maybe a little confusion on the rate.
Okay.
As far as we do have to charge there.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, okay. We're not, we've been charging that for the last several years. We have no plans to change that, correct? Yeah. Right, I'm sorry. Yeah. I thought ours were a little bit different, but no, okay. All right, go ahead, Lisa.
Yeah, on page 56, they talk about PS6, where it's not a public pump station. Is it
Section are you in? Sorry.
number 3, number 4?
Yeah, that's the apartment complex.
Oh, it's apartment,
Yeah.
so they maintain their own pump station?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay,
Because that's the only sewage that goes into it is from that apartment project.
gotcha.
Yeah, that's their problem. Yeah.
And then, so how many pump stations do we not have ownership of?
Three.
3 out of how?
Well, there's 4. There's South Street we own already, but we don't own Ames Street, we don't own Mount Prospect, and we don't own the one on Liberty.
So the property owners own
Yep,
them?
That's correct.
all right.
Okay, and is this something we're gonna have to pay them for us to utilize?
That's what that big thick booklet is about, how to,
Okay.
yeah, we're gonna, hopefully they'll give us the people will give us the property because the pump stations have been there for years. If that's not the case, we'll offer to buy them from them. If worse comes to worse, we're gonna have to, we need them, we gotta have them, we'd have to condemn the property, But they're small, if you look, the stations are, not much, they're tiny little things, but still, the one on Ames Street is an issue because there's roots growing up into the pumps and they have to move it 10 feet.
3, that means-
Yeah. Yeah, so, no, that's what's gonna take the time.
And then I was interested in why pump station 3 it looks like it has different stuff. It wasn't listed in the initial list of the 4. And then if you see on page 57, number 5, the fee simple interest of real property is listed, the town's rights and privileges are listed, but some of the other things that were listed I didn't think were the same. Maybe they are. I might be wrong here. All right, you know what? Drop my question. I'm not 100% sure what I was thinking when I wrote that too.
I don't think there was a pump station 3. Yeah. All right.
Go ahead, I'm done.
Ann,
I don't have any questions, but I'd like to thank Bill and Debbie
Yeah.
and Hannah and the DPW guys for all the work they've done on this transition.
yeah. Yeah, I'd like to thank HRSD because they had three lawyers there at that meeting and they're 80% of the work being done in terms of the legal work is being done by them. And they've actually drawn up resolutions, public hearing, what language, everything is in that booklet right there. Yeah. So, yeah,
They basically did.
yeah.
And they have been very fair and straightforward with us.
So we're, yeah. All right, any other questions about that? We're gonna get right back to it in a second.
So the exhibits don't matter for our purposes if we adopt this without the exhibits? Doesn't matter.
This, so we have, that is the package.
Gotcha. As long as you're happy with
All
that.
these little flat things and all of that to make it another size of the same as the package.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, the town attorney did bring that, there were some changes made to our advantage, but Eric brought up some stuff at the meeting, so it's not, we didn't just roll over completely, let them, all right. Okay, that closes okay, so council action, omnibus agreement, we need a motion, is there a motion in the package here?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the, I just flipped my page on it, the omnibus agreement with HRSD.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we need a roll call vote on this.
Biggie,
Aye.
Councilmember Peter Holdren,
Aye.
Councilmember Knox,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettit,
Aye.
Councilmember Quigley.
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill, for all that work. All right. Next item at council action is the Arbor Day proclamation. Who's Ann's doing it? Yeah, yeah. We got it, yeah.
Want me to read it?
Yeah, if it, how, is it short? Yeah, yeah. It's not 3 pages about trees, is it? Yeah. It's my understanding we have to adopt this proclamation because we're a tree city, correct? Is that? Yeah,
Correct. So
Right.
typically we have an Arbor Day proclamation that entails a tree-related event. So since we're dedicating our wonderful white oak on the Hancock Sales Forward Weekend, we are using that to also mark Arbor Day. So this is the draft. Whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. And whereas Onancock recognizes that trees beautify our town, increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas. And whereas, as part of the town of Onancock's Onancock Sales Forward celebration of America's 250th anniversary, the town is erecting a plaque dedicated to the town's white oak, Quercus alba, estimated to be approximately 250 years old. Now, therefore, I, Fletcher Foskey, mayor of the town of Onancock, do hereby proclaim Saturday, June 13th as Arbor Day in the town of Onancock. Further, I urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and to plant trees to gladden the heart and promote the well-being of this and future generations.
thank you. Do we have a motion to adopt that proclamation?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
So we're gonna get that printed up and, okay, all right. Thank you, Ann, for that.
Kill a tree and print it up.
Right?
That's right. All right, committee reports, I'm gonna skip down here. I'm gonna do this a little backwards. I got T. Lee's been very patient sitting out there. So can you do the waterfront committee first?
Mr. Mayor, Town Council, I'm T. Lee Bird. I live at 38 Ames Street. And I
Sorry,
chair the
T. Lee, is your mic on?
yellow ladder.
Just get close to the mic. Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning. Mr. Mayor and Town Council, I'm T. Lee Bird. I live at 38 Ames Street and I chair the Nantucket Waterfront Committee. The Wharf and Marina opened April 1st. The highlights of our off-season. The month of December was free to guests, so that would decorate for Christmas season. It was nice to see the lit and decorated boats with sterns and our floater slips. It was nice, very nice addition to the ever-increasing decorations adorning our town. Thanks to all the volunteers, Main Street, OBCA, town staff for their hard work and allowing our town to transition into the Christmas spirit. We had a few that chose to take us up on our off-season rates. If anyone would like to keep their boat in the water during the off-season, we can certainly accommodate you. It's a small profit center for the marina, and of course, nice to have a few boats in the slip. We have an addition to our waterfront committee. Mr. Bradley Hauer has agreed to join us. Bradley is a sailor, knows our creek, and will be an asset to the waterfront committee. We're glad to have him on board. The early season expenditures were maintenance and touch-ups to the Harbor Master facility. A major expenditure was the repair, recoating, and striping of the parking lot in front of the facility. The pavement was starting to break up, and the repair was a fraction of the money as opposed to scarifying and repaving. It'll last us a few years. Kelly is back. She got right at the helm, speaking to clubs, repeat transient guests, and up-and-comers from our list. April guests were quick to say, "Where is Kelly?" when we were tying them up. She is the lifeblood of our marina, and we're proud to have her, and I thank you with all my heart. Thanks to all the committee members as well as town volunteers that filled in welcoming guests in Nancock. Debbie did all the heavy lifting, everything from reservations, communicating with DACWA, arranging someone to assist and welcoming our guests, and we appreciate that. We had 23 transient night stays in April, and so far at least 80 through the month of May. We have increased our nightly rates by $50 from $2.75 to $3.25 per foot per night. That'll help a little bit. 4 clubs have booked so far, and the regulars will certainly be coming. Fuel prices continue to rise, which is always a worry, but the trailer boaters did buy this weekend. Beautiful weather this past weekend made for some fuel sales. Obviously, we'll continue to watch sales, competitive marinas prices, etc. You may be aware that we're finally getting at least some dredging from the Army Corps of Engineers. As of now, it is at the mouth of the creek into about 9A, which is about where the turnstake is, we call it. So I'm told. After a week or more of efforts to secure mooring, according to Mr. Chris Turner, project manager of the Army Corps, we've worked out a deal with the county administrator to secure dockage at Punketig Creek at the Harborton Old Pulpwood dock. They've got plenty of room, and they've agreed, so he says. The dredge vessel is 156 feet long, 45-foot beam, and a draft of 5.5 feet. The only Nancock Creek possibility obviously would have been the Cheney property, and they are constantly receiving barges, and they would not say you can have it. So we're so glad we found this Harborton place. The crew will work on 12-hour shifts from 6 in the morning till 6 at night. Then they'll stay off premises in hotels and such. The project will begin May 27th and end on June 9th. We are down 2 assistants. These are college kids that are finally getting out of college, and I guess they're welcome to the real world. So I think Kelly has 1 on her mind, and she's certainly looking at additional members, so we'll be fully staffed by the time we need them. Such an exciting time for our town and marina with a Nancock Sails Forward, June 12th through 14th. Many activities are planned, and I know for a fact that my grandchildren are holding their breath. Giant thanks to all that have worked tirelessly to bring this to fruition. OBCA, Main Street, town staff, and above all the committee members of Nancock Sails Forward made it a reality. Debbie, Ann, Lisa, Kelly, Corey, and Chief Eric. I'm sure that I've left someone out, so please let me know because we certainly want to thank you. And if I've forgotten somebody, please thank them for us. Mayor, council, any questions, comments, want to yell at me, anything? Nothing?
T.
Yes,
Lee,
yeah.
I'm not going to yell.
Okay.
Just a question. If that June 9th date slips,
Yes, ma'am.
what happens when the Lady Maryland shows up?
They're going to pull out, when it was here, the captain, they're in Ocean City right now. When we thought we were going to do Cheney and some other things you don't need to know that we had thought about doing, including closing the marina, we asked specifically, 9th, you're getting out of here. The captain said, not in my 30 years. If we've got one more day, we're going to stay here. So since the Harborton thing came up, I talked with him. I talked with the gentleman that's the project manager, and he made it extremely clear to me that they'd get out of the way at least, both coming and going, if something ridiculous were to happen. He said, we haven't run over one project in 5 years. Take that with a grain of salt.
Let's hope he keeps his record.
Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, well, I appreciate the time very much and the opportunity to tout our marina. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, T. Lee, for everything you do in the committee. Thank you. And those are public meetings, meets, what is it, the
Second Tuesday, thank you for reminding me.
Yeah.
We meet the second Tuesday, 5:30, right here. Please come. We'd certainly like to hear from you. Any comments, any complaints, anything at all. We'd appreciate it if everybody would come. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, economic development, Ann?
Oh, we have not met since I presented last month, so I don't have any news from the authority itself. I will say some of us attended the Virginia Municipal League Small Town Conference in Chincoteague last week. And there were a number of presentations related to economic development authorities across the state. I met some town managers and EDA directors and things that I'm going to be following up with on some interesting projects that they've been doing. So it was very worthwhile, good resources. And, I look forward to some productive meetings when we meet next. I'd have to look it up to check, but it's on the calendar.
Okay. All right, thank you. Guess there's no questions. Planning Commission, Cindy. She just stepped away. Okay. Skip down to Historic and Hancock School. Sarah, you want to do yours?
Sure. Here is the update. The roof work is complete and the construction portion of the fire restoration process will begin soon. We've been thinking it was going to be soon and we now think it's sooner, but not yet. Blooms and Brushes will be on Saturday, May 30th with a rain date of Sunday, May 31st. Focusing in Mount Prospect and with a garden party at the pavilion after the tour. Tour is from 10 to 3 and the garden party is from 3 to 5 with live music from Bayside Jazz, a live wet paint auction, and food catered by Mallards and North Street Market. And that is a ticketed event and tickets are available. There is shifting gears, a new community first aid station at the playground with bandages, gloves, etc., which was done in collaboration with the Health and Wealth Foundation. And there will be news coming soon about the Field Day Fiesta. And I'm sure that the Anacog Sales Forward report will have a lot of details, but the school grounds are going to be hopping that second weekend of June. And on the HVAC, I believe that the process is underway to get the bids to be able to begin that work. Any questions? Anything else?
Okay, thank you. Cindy, Planning Commission?
Yes, Planning Commission met on May 4th, and we kind of briefly discussed a couple of chapters that have been written, the economic development And then the chapter on history, recreation, green spaces, arts and culture. These are all drafts and we're just kind of putting pieces together. We did briefly also discuss the Duncan Manor request for, or the request for water at, town water at Duncan Manor. We did not come to any conclusions because we were a little bit uncertain of our deadlines. Found out later that there weren't any real problematic deadlines, so I'm sure we'll discuss that again at our next meeting. For the June town council meeting, Casey will request to make a presentation talking about where we are and how we're organizing the comp plan and just kind of updating the council and making sure that we're on track with what the council expects. And finally, we'll have a work session tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock to continue our work on the draft plan and, you know, other discussions as we go through them. Are there any questions?
Okay, thank you. Well, okay, Hancock Sales Forward.
I was not at the Friday meeting. Debbie, you wanna update? Not much going on. Advertising still ongoing. We've been receiving some sponsorships. They've been trickling in slowly. I know the website got updated with those sponsorships that have come in. We're still looking for volunteers.
Here's the big push.
Yeah, because
The data.
Sunday. So we, our volunteer coordinator, Heather Littlefield, has been trying to work with the schools and the community college for volunteers. And I think everybody was pumped on Saturday, but not so pumped on Sunday. So if anybody's interested in volunteering for a little while, we'd appreciate that. And has been purchasing all kinds of materials for us for merchandise. I believe some of it's here, right?
Yes, and we'll have a booth at Saturday's Farmers Market, so be the first one on your block to have an Hancock Sales Forward t-shirt.
Yes. Do you want me to mention the captain's reception? Did everybody get an invitation?
Yeah, that's the invitation. I have it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so town council it will be invited if you haven't already
Town
seen it.
council has gone.
Oh, perfect. So you've all seen your invitations. Okay. I think we've identified a photographer that we're gonna sign and we're just rounding third. Our next meeting will be May 29th at 9 a.m. here. If anybody's interested in learning more, wants to get involved, feel free to show up.
All right, thank you so much. All right, your Main Street.
Let's see. OMS held a tourism trends workshop May 4th at Bizotto's for local businesses. We had guest speaker Laura Messer with Virginia Tourism Corporation. We had Megan Lawson from the ESVA Tourism. They spoke about tourism numbers on the shore and in Onancock. They were able to provide resources and helpful tips to businesses. We had about 25 people that were in attendance. We have also been awarded a $20,000 marketing leveraging program grant from the Virginia Tourism Corporation with the town's match. That gives us a total of $40,000 dedicated to tourism marketing efforts over the coming year. Our marketing efforts will focus on increasing website traffic to the experienceonancock.com website, expanding Onancock's visibility as a travel destination, and encouraging more oversight visits and visitor spending. By bringing more visitors to town, we hope to support increased sales for all of our small businesses, which in turn comes back to tax revenue for the town. We have also been named the 2026 Main Street America Accredited Program. This is a top tier recognition. Main Street America accredited programs have a proven track record of planning, implementing, and measuring results that align with the Main Street approach. Accredited programs must meet a set of baseline requirements and demonstrate success in one of the six accreditation, and each of the six accreditation standards.
Oh, okay, any questions for Main Street? Okay. All right, Dana, OBCA.
Thank you. The OBCA wants to welcome Wes Wooten. Thank you so much for being here. We're very happy about that. And we're also thankful to you, Bill Porter, for all of your help getting through this several months and this transition. So good things ahead. The OBCA is citizens and also business people working together, and our primary focus is volunteerism. So we have a new webpage for volunteers. You can go and see it at onancock.org. And there's a couple of opportunities. We heard about Sunday that they'll be needed at Sale 250. There'll also be a Market Street cleanup June 6th, that's Saturday, ahead of Sale 250. The garden at the wharf continues to be spruced up and maintained by OBCA volunteers, and anybody's happy to work on that as well. So there's more projects coming up as well, including July 3rd. There's the ice cream social, and volunteers are needed to help organize, serve, and probably a cleaning crew. That's going to be at the school. The Northeast Park is a project that's been going on, and planting, Jeff Burnham has been instrumental in that. And things were planted in the winter, they made it through, and they're being watered by the neighborhoods. So that's excellent. And we're looking forward to get the benches and tables, which were purchased by the town. They should be installed shortly, I think. Yeah. And everybody can be comfortable and have places to gather there. And our elections are coming up in June for president and VP. You're invited to vote if you've paid your dues and you're a member of the OBCA. And we want to acknowledge the great job that both Bill Burnham and Jeff Verneb have done as president and VP over the past years. We're pleased that they're going to continue to play important roles and offer guidance as we transition to new leadership. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions or anything? Okay, it's time for public comment. For Rosemary.
I want to thank you for your diligent work on the budget. I think it's a difficult task, and I think that obviously, clearly, you're paying a lot of attention to it. The one thing that I saw, or one of the things I saw that I thought, in the interest of transparency, might be a little better. There was no allusion in the budget to the loan to the school. I would think that which was last year, I would think that should be in there, because I did see that there was a payment made to the blacksmith shop. I think it was $82,000, something like that. But, you know, the loan to the school, or whether it's a grant or whatever it is, should be alluded to in the budget so that people can track it, know what's going on, whatever. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is it there? It is. It's 640 because that's what would be your need. You've already got it done for 26, which should. Okay, yeah.
Dana, you back up again?
Okay, so I live at 85 Market Street, and so there's Lilliston comes up towards our house, and it's in kind of disrepair, and I understand that there's not a lot of money in the budget for that. However, I asked the last town manager if we could have a new dead end sign because nobody sees the one that's on the right or the left-hand side of the street. It's kind of in the shade, and everybody pulls in there, and then they're kind of caught. They start backing up, and they back into people's yards and over flowers and things like that. So at one point, I actually hand painted a sign, and I put it on the back of the stop sign, and it lasted pretty good. But it recently fell down, and I was just wanting to ask if we might possibly have a dead end sign or not a pass through. What would you just say? You know, this is not a through street. On the back of the stop sign that you see as you're pulling out onto Market Street, it's just blank on the back of the stop sign. So that would be a great place to put it. It's very visible on the right-hand side of the street.
Yeah. Could you look into that? Yeah. VDOT's probably got a way in. I think we own that street though. Yeah, I think that's a town street. Yeah.
That would be great. Thank
Okay,
you.
Thank you. Jay Miller?
Jay Miller, 79 Market Street. I got some information. I think it's important enough that I have to pass it around to the town. It's a lot of information. I'm going to try to talk fast so I can get through it all. I went to the last two Accomack County Planning Commission meetings, having mainly to do with Duncan Manor. And in there, that not surprisingly, they were talking about water, all the different versions of water, having to do with the storm runoff, the fresh water, and the sewer. So in their document for the stormwater runoff, then they had made a detail that said that they were going to, the overflow was going to end up in Hancock Creek. Chris Garbo was there and he said that that's not true. They're going to change that so that they're not going to dump anything, any kind of stormwater runoff into Hancock Creek, which is good news. For fresh water, I guess we already know that it's under review by the Planning Commission here in Hancock and by the Town Council. Carbo is concerned about that, but he's agreed, at least in principle, that he's going to have a plan B, which would mean that he's going to install his own water plant if it comes to it. And in fact, I would suggest that he do that because it's in a better spot on the aquifer than we are. But the main idea, the main details came later when they talk about the sewer. So as we know, the Hancock waste treatment plant can do 700,000 gallons plus or minus of waste per day. And HRSD now has divvied up that 700,000 amongst all of the entities that are around, anybody projects that need it. We have an allocation. The hospital has an allocation. Melfa, I think, has some, and so on and so on. And it turns out that they allocated for the county of Accomack 187,000 gallons per day as their allocation. So that means that any projects or any development then would have to petition them, I guess, to get a piece of the 187,000. So it dawned on everybody there at the meeting that that would include the Coastal Square and the Duncan Manor projects that are going on. And it dawned on everybody there that there's an awful lot of structures there. 450. Can I keep going? Because this is in,
30
you're
seconds.
going to want to
I
hear.
can't make except, I try to make exceptions.
All right, they calculated all the details. They added all up what that's going to take from the HRSD allocation, ended up with 188,000 gallons per day, and that didn't even include the commercial. So that puts puts the Planning Commission in a tough spot because they approved Coastal Square without much scrutiny, apparently. And Carbo and the Duncan Manor is in a pickle because when he adds his structures to it, they're going over, and that's not even including the not including the commercial. So they adjourned in confusion. There was a few alternative projections which were rejected, and they adjourned to regroup. So now I think it would behoove us to keep an eye on this. Then I would encourage anybody to go to a website called boarddocs.com, which is where the county keeps all of their meetings and agenda and information. And in there, what you'll see.
I think you're running out of time here. Sorry.
Right.
Okay.
So-
But if you can give us a written report and not, you can write 10 pages if you want to. And if we sit it up here and then yeah, okay.
How would I forward that?
Just send it to the town manager and we put it in we can put it in the packet every month. Okay. Yeah.
All right, well,
I'm sorry, I can't make a special exception for, to go,
Well,
I understand it's important stuff and I appreciate you
I just
talking.
thought because of the,
No, I agree with you 100%. We just have some rules here we have to follow.
I'm gonna have to deal with, I think Debbie and I are gonna have to worry about,
Yeah.
because I wasn't able to.
But if we have it
Send
written,
emails.
it'll be a lot more impactful because a lot of people forget what you say and, yeah, okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Brenda.
Brenda Smith, 12 Market. Just two quick little things. When you're talking about the crosswalks, it popped into my head that the town of Accomack just recently got 2 painted crosswalks, like within the last couple of months. Maybe somebody wants to check with the mayor how that happened, because I've been at the council meetings and all of a sudden they're like, hey, we got crosswalks. And it went through VDOT. So, and also, I have a small business in the town of Accomack, and 2 Wednesdays ago, a couple people came into my shop and we were talking and they were buying things, and they came in on boats and they said they were able to borrow a vehicle from the town. And I knew about the golf carts, but I did not know about the vehicle. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we've been doing that for a while. Yeah, thank you. Yes, yeah, thank you. It's one of our old police cars, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, Casey.
Please, does it still have the siren? I'm Casey Greer, 74 Market Street. And first of all, Jay has also visited the Planning Commission and talked in some depth, and I appreciate his efforts to help us get all this stuff with Duncan Manor and everything sorted out. I'll talk about it next month, but it is pretty clear that water is the biggest single part is going to wind up being the biggest single part of the revised plan. Because we're supposed to be revising the plan every year, if there are other sections that are not, I'll repeat this next month, but that are viewed as not complete enough, then we can always move along and do revisions. So the other thing that I wanted to say was I am a fan of crosswalks, and I would prefer to see crosswalks over redoing Queen Street. I'm going to give Cindy a heart attack on that, I'm sure. But I would much prefer crosswalks. The one thing that concerns me is that the crosswalks may not extend out far enough to the neighborhood that needs it. Especially, there should at least be a crosswalk. I don't think it's there. I may have read the map wrong at where the convenience store is crossing Market. There is one there? Okay. So I'm concerned though that, there's a lot of traffic that way. But at any rate, I'm a fan of crosswalks. And I would just as soon see Queen Street postponed until we can do the water discussion about stormwater, because there is a real concern about managing stormwater with that parking lot. And there's plenty of park in there, even though sometimes the blacktop is not what it used to be. So the other thing that one more thing I wanted to mention is that tomorrow I'm going to go to one of the workshops for the Accomack County comprehensive plan. And I'm really concerned about how these are going to mesh. Our plan and their mesh is going to, how it's going to work or not work. So I'm going to try to make some contacts there and try to start to figure that out. I don't think they
are going to pay a lot of attention to us. And I think especially water, again, water allocation is a high priority. So if anybody wants to attend that, it's at the Parksley Library tomorrow from 4:30 to 6:30. And it's in the big meeting room there. So, okay, thank you.
Thank you. Priscilla.
Good evening. I am Priscilla Hart and I live on Market Street. Welcome. And I thank Bill for all of his work. And Town Council, I know you have been doing quite a bit of work on the budget and everything else that you do. You have a lot of responsibility. Along with that, you also have a lot of accountability. So one of the things that we've been really focused on is transparency and making the transition for the new town manager as smooth as possible. When our town manager left, I guess it was back in November. Anyway, we spoke about an audit and we were hoping that we would have the town council vote to do a targeted audit. They have not, but what they decided was that our audit, we do an annual audit, so we'll get some results from that anyway. Problem with that is it takes a long time. What we were hoping was that we would get a 60 to 90 day turnaround time so that we could have some figures to work with. On March 20th, a number of residents signed a letter and submitted it to the town council. And, you know, we specifically requested a targeted audit that would focus on the town's cash reserves and financial holdings. That letter was sent to the auditor, and I am wondering exactly what the auditor said. And I'd like to know when it was sent. And I would also like to know what kinds of comments came back from the auditor so that we would have a sense as to whether the auditor was going to focus on this or not. Thank you. I'm going to, before a couple more minutes, I submitted today a Town of Onancock Freedom of Information Act request. So what I'm asking for is when did you send the information to the auditor? Who is the auditor? And what were the comments? I'd be interested in that. I'm going to give you a copy of, Debbie, let me give you a copy of this. It also includes the original letter from the residents. And please put this in.
Okay, thank you. Jeff Bacon.
I apologize in advance if I'm asking some stupid questions here, but I'd like some clarification on these crosswalks. It says the town requested these 8 crosswalks from VDOT, and then I got looking to the money and I went, crap, the town is going to pay $412,000. That's over $50,000 a crosswalk. And then I looked, no, that's just 20%. These 8 crosswalks are going to cost $2,060,732. And that's about 250, that's over $250,000 each. And that doesn't include the contingency fund of $587,000. Now, what is the scope of the work on this? The total scope of the work in the proposal is that they're going to do 32 feet of improvement. How do they possibly justify $40,000 or $50,000 a crosswalk, much less $2,060,000? I just don't understand. What is the scope of the work here that they're going to do? How could you possibly spend all that money?
This isn't a question and answer session.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm just, maybe this was, brought up at some other meeting.
No, you're saying the same documents we are. I can tell you that.
I'm just,
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
be appalled if the town signed on to this obvious boondoggle for somebody who's gonna, $202 million, $2 million to put in 8 crosswalks. What, this is not Saudi Arabia.
No.
I mean, I just don't understand.
Okay.
So if we could have some clarification at a future meeting before you actually sign off on this, I'd
I
appreciate it.
agree. Thank you. Thank you. Jim McGowan?
Jim McGowan, 29 King Street. I'm on the planning commission when I'm speaking as a private citizen. I had the same reaction as Jeff when I looked at those numbers. But I can tell you that we've been talking about crosswalks for a very long time. I'm wondering why, if the town submitted the grant and said the money was available, why it's not in the current budget. Again, I know it's not an answer session, but I would look into that and just try to get a sense why that is. I agree that we don't need the one at Carr Street and North Street. We do need one at Hill Street if this happens, the crossing Hill Street. It doesn't make sense to have one crossing Market Street and not have one crossing to Hill Street to the convenience store. I'd like to, none of the hyperlinks in the council packet work for the drawings other than the map showing the locations. That's good. But I'd like to see what it looks like. I don't understand myself how it can cost that much, $250,000 for a crosswalk. And I always thought we could go out and paint them ourselves. And the lady with the business in Accomack, I hope somebody follows up on that, because you see these things online of people going out. It's like guerrilla, gardening. They go out and they paint the crosswalks. So I don't know. I walk around town. It is needed, especially at North Street, where it's a blind turn and it's blind for people walking. But I do have to say, VDOT maintains the roads. VDOT owns the roads. If this is the way it has to happen, then I support it, because we need it. It's an investment for the town. We don't have to pay for it all at once. There's 7 years. I divided 7 into the 2 million, or the 412, and that's 59,000 a year. So, and with roughly 1,000 people in town, that's $58 a year. With 52 weeks in a year, it comes down to about $1 a week per person. So that's the way I like to look at things. So I am aghast at these numbers, but it's an investment. I'd like to see pictures of what it looks like. I'd like to know how long it lasts and who's going to maintain it. Is VDOT going to maintain these once they're put in 25 years or however long they last? From what I understand, it's thermoplastic and it's not going to last forever. But anyway, I think it's an important thing, and I hope we can look at it closely and figure out how to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right, that concludes our public comment. Okay. All right, Mayor's report. To answer a couple of questions, the packet we got from VDOT, in full transparency, it's the first time we've seen it. And, we didn't have any numbers at all to put into budget. So that, and it astounds me at the cost of it as well. But I think we've got some time here. I think we should get somebody from VDOT maybe to come in in 2 weeks if they want to talk, or get some information about, why the cost, and we can talk in Accomack. And so I think, we're seeing this information the same time you are about the crosswalks. There's nothing. We did have Ann mentioned virtually that 4 of us, I guess, were up at the small town conference up in Cape Charles. I mean, Chincoteague, a really good presentation, 3 days, a lot of stuff about, downtown development, really good. VML does a really great job. Met a lot of other town, managers, town elected officials. It's always good to see what other people are doing. And they're all fairly small towns. There were actually a few towns that were smaller than we were at this one, which is usually unusual. Did run into, I don't know if you're aware of it, but we have a sister town in Virginia. It's Kenbridge. And about 15 or 20 years ago, they came over and we took them out on a cruise. And we've never really gone to see Kenbridge. So I think we should, maybe it's a very similar town, Southwest Virginia or South Central Virginia. Anyway, it's good to see how other people do things. So it was just interesting. The town manager he was on that cruise and he's still the town manager. So it's, he must be doing something right. Yeah. Sale 250, I guess this is the last meeting before council, before Sale 250. So man, we've been working hard. Please volunteer if you can. A lot of things. A couple things, back to the VML, a couple of things. There are a couple of state laws that have come out. We're not going to be able to, I don't know if you've been following it, but there was a state statute that says we're not going to be able to amend the agenda anymore. I talked to Michelle on that. It says the only thing, we cannot take final action on any amended agenda. So we can't amend the agenda at the meeting and take final action on something. We can discuss things, but we can't decide all of a sudden to amend the agenda, and then, buy a $60,000 new police car with, a vote. So that's a new rule, but that state is going to require all towns to do. There's a lot of stuff still up in the air about zoning. Wes, I think, is going to have his hands full over the next couple of years with, but the state's trying to tell us what we can do with our zoning. Auxiliary, dwelling units are going to be a big factor. States, talking about, making towns and cities require, let you have them. So that's going to be, some of those bills were shot down, but they're going to come back for sure. There's a huge, housing is a big issue in the state. So that's them. And the last thing is I'd like to thank Bill Porter for the job he's done. Incredible job. Thank Berkeley Group for, allowing us to have him. He did a wonderful job. I really like working with Bill, a consummate professional. And I'm sure he's going to be missed. And Wes, he was only here a short time, but he did a great job. So anyway, all right, that's all I've got. So, oh yeah, we need another person on the water committee, and it has to be somebody from council. Does anybody want to be on the water committee?
I'd be happy to do it.
The only thing you do is, if somebody has they're not happy with the decision the town manager makes, they can appeal to the water committee. We don't do anything except that. We don't do anything with, anybody?
I said I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, can we, a motion to appoint Lisa to the water committee?
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think they don't meet, it's not much of a job. All right, Bill, town manager's report.
That's right. There's one thing to add to the Nantucket High School report, and that is that it looks like the HVAC specification for bid documents will be done in about 2 weeks for the town council to review before going out. Northeast Park has said that the equipment is in. I've requested Mr. Smith to send him a map and requested that he place on the map where he wants the picnic tables, the benches, and the trash receptacles to go. All the pieces are in on hand, and probably we'll start putting together on a good rainy day. Sunset Park, the order has been in for the benches, the bollard, and the rope is in. The benches should be here by the 22nd of May. So everything should be set up and working. The gentleman that's making the bollards says he will have those ready. So we will be ready and in place for a Nantucket sale forward. I don't think you need for me to go through HRSD again. I think we've all had enough of that one. Mosquito control, there will be a presentation here on Wednesday the May 27th for citizens of the town to talk about the options and what's effective and what's not effective. It'll be somebody from the Virginia Cooperative Extension Service that'll be here. I think it's important for folks to come and understand that spraying may be one of the least effective things, that there are other things that you can do. And we need to know which mosquitoes are here. And I think, was it 50 species of mosquitoes? I had no idea. I just know that they bite and they itch. Town Square, the irrigation has been fixed. It now should be operating. We have the design and the specifications for the base for the street lights. Hopefully sometime next week, they'll be able to start putting them in. The interesting thing is we need an auger that has a 4 foot in diameter. Of course, there's not one here. We have a machine that will handle it. So the electrician is going to get the auger and we will do the digging of the holes. But the street lights are well on their way of being put in place in Town Square. The other thing I want to do is thank the Department of Public Works for all their work over the weekend. There was a major blockage, sewer blockage starting Friday at about 3 o'clock. It was fun. Everything was finally done on Sunday about 3 o'clock. What happens, it started up on Liberty Street. We got the blockage unblocked. And when that happens, everything flows to the next place. And the next one was at South. And that finally got unblocked and went to the treatment plant. It was such a blockage that it set off alarms in the treatment plant when it hit because it was so much. I'd like to please ask you, I sort of not to put rags and things like that into the sewer and don't flush them down the commode, please, because it won't do anything right then, but over time it builds up and it is awful when it does. So please think about what you flush. And that's all I'm asking. And I want to thank the staff for all their support and all they've done for me while I've been here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I really have enjoyed it. You have a beautiful and a wonderful town.
Any questions?
I do.
No.
I've got a question. Bill, do you have a place and time for the meeting on Wednesday, May 27th?
Here, and I think it's
5 PM.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
5 p.m.
That was also my question, but I also have questions on the financial. So, Anne, if you got questions on that, doing.
No, just to clarify on that May 27th meeting, it's really public education. It's like not only about what the town necessarily is going to do, but about residents, what residents can do. So it's a general public education session on best practices in integrated mosquito management.
So Anne, how do we plan to reach the people that don't normally come to meetings or potentially read the newspaper, et cetera?
Well, I mean, there's only so much we can do, but part of our planning, I think, with cooperative extension will be that very kind of thing. How do we communicate with people? And in fact, I was just looking online, we had a manager's minute announcement last year about the spraying and when it was going to start and all that. So, I mean, we just got to go at it with all the options that we have. And I'm not sure we will Zoom it. So I'm not sure that it will be recorded. Need to talk some more about that, but it will be available via Zoom.
Well, hopefully we can resume the manager's minutes before too long and get that done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just curious if the hydrant flush was finished today or if that will continue tomorrow. So it will be tomorrow and Wednesday or just tomorrow?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just have stuff on the financial.
Go ahead.
things, okay. And I had sent to staff so that they have it as well, my questions. I'm just curious, under, admin revenue, which is page, I don't know, because it's cut off. 74. 73 for it. I was just interested when, I don't remember when the bank stock taxes come in. Is it May?
Here we got it on 6/24/25.
Okay. And then I had a question on the meals and late, late penalties. Because we haven't accepted any revenue under that category. Everybody's paying on time this year.
So everybody that reports is on time. You have to realize we get them from VRBO and Airbnb and other third-party entities
No, I know that, but also the meal side, everybody's paying on time.
now. Yeah. Sir. Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome to hear.
Okay.
On page 73, which is the town council expenditures, there is an old, this was the name of what it was under under town council, which was the 75% that went to tourism back in the day, which was rerouted to Main Street, and that's actually the allocation Main Street got, which is reported here and under the administration expenditures.
That's correct. You're right there.
Okay.
It shouldn't be under council.
Okay, yeah, and I think it's just because the number probably. And then advertising jumped a lot between February and March. It went up $1,600. What did we do for that?
There was a full page ad, $3,600 to Eastern Shore Tourism, $1,100 for the
Oh.
resource guide, and then $1,050 for the sponsorship for Tour de Shore.
Okay. All right, what was my other one? Buildings and streets, we have almost $83,000 expenditure showing for the blacksmith shop.
Yeah, so that's actually the school.
Oh, so it needs to be
So the
moved.
number is right, the label is wrong.
Okay.
82,998.
So we haven't released the 10,000 to the
What page
blacksmith
is
shop? That.
78.
No, and I believe that's what Mr. Boyd wants to speak with Leslie about, am I correct? sir?
It's, yes, okay.
That your 10,000 that we approved, is that what you wanted to speak with Leslie about? So we haven't expended that money yet.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Office, and there's a couple things over budget, and this is not a huge number, but we're 1,000% over budget in office supplies at the wharf expenditures.
Yeah, they had new chairs, they ordered, there was new dock, what are they called? Dock stairs, it's just a lot of. Seat covers for the first car. Those are the big ones.
So we plan enough for the coming year and expenses?
I
Okay,
think so.
and then my last question.
It's not even, not sure why, there's no one in that.
What line, and then I asked what line item are we paying the Berkeley group out of, because I was interested.
That's under your town council, under consulting fees. Page
Oh.
73,
And does that also include the 15 for the recruitment?
is everything that they have charged us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from me? Okay, police report? Do we have nobody? He's not here. Okay. All right, council comments, Ann?
So I echo Fletcher's comments about the VML conference, and I just, sitting here, it occurred to me that made me think of that, what's that old expression? I used to complain about having no shoes until I met a man with no feet. And I can promise you that whatever issues, we may have in our wonderful little town, I wouldn't trade them for the issues that a lot of towns have. And I'll just give you one example. There was a mayor there who about 3 weeks ago was disbarred for misconduct and incompetence. But since he wasn't working for the town as an attorney, he's still mayor. So just, it's just a perspective kind of thing. I'm grateful for the discussion and consideration on crosswalks. I'm grateful to those of you that came to talk about this. It's a big item. Appreciate all the work and commitment to Queen Street. That's something I would love to see, completed. But I think, with all due respect to the folks that prioritize that, I think the question might have been answered differently if you were to say, well, VDOT will give us $1 $1.6 million if we spend this much, or we can have the parking lot. So unless the question was framed that way, I don't think we can necessarily infer what the priority would be now. And I would also offer that I think there are second and third order effects that we need to consider. And by that, I mean, crosswalks obviously are a safety thing, but there's also data that shows that increasing the walkability of a town correlates with, well-being measures among the population, people exercise more, all those things. There's also data to suggest that increased walkability translates into higher home values and different things. So there's a whole host of benefits that I think could accrue that we at least need to consider. And I think those were laid out very well in the 5 project goals identified in the plan. I can't remember if they're in the packet, but if not, we can get them in next time. But I appreciate everybody's, including the council's, thoughtfulness on the topic. I think it's important that we have a robust discussion. And thank you, Bill, for everything.
I wanted to welcome Wesley officially. I sent him an email today. I haven't heard back yet, but that's okay. It's quite all right. But I was just saying welcome. I guess looking forward to working with you. Also a big thank you to Bill, especially coming in with all the chaos and the unknowns, and we appreciate your assistance through this time.
Well, just one more comment about crosswalks and safety. I asked the chief how many accidents we'd had for pedestrians in town. In 23 years, he remembers one incident when one person walked into a car and was not injured. So you have to ask yourself, are we solving a problem that doesn't exist? Okay, enough of crosswalks. Thank you to Bill. Your calm demeanor and measured responses have just been wonderful for this town council, and thank you so much. And welcome, Wes. We look forward to working with you.
I'm going to say also welcome to Wes. Thank you to Bill, and I'm going to add thank you to Debbie and Hannah and Chief and Fletcher and everybody else who has kept things going, pulled details out of corners, and kept us moving forward to get to this point where we are ready to move forward again, full steam with you at the helm. So thank you.
Wesley?
Ashley.
Ashley.
That's Wesley.
That's I know, we got too many. Well, you can make them too if you want to.
See, I guess want to echo the sentiments of all the other council members. So much appreciation to Bill in our transition period, all the hard work that that's going into your post since you've been here. So obviously, thank you for that. And as we transition to our new town manager, Mr. Wooten, we want to thank you for saying yes. So, with that, that's all I have.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, we'll see you in 3 weeks. This
All the burn.
is the, this